Now today I'm going to be showing you guys how to purchase Stellar AIO. Now of course this is brought to you by Nocturnal Proxies, and this is going to be something we cover a little bit further in the video. But stay tuned until the end because we will be, from start to finish, showing you guys how to purchase this bot. Now as a beginner, you may be wondering, how do I even buy a bot safely? Tidal Marketplace does a great job at this by offering middlemen between third-party sellers to actually safely secure your bot. This is going to prevent you from getting scammed, and there are actually some key tips I'm going to be giving you through this video so we can get you through your first transaction safely. Now let's get into it. Starting off, when you first join the server, right here is the welcome page. As you scroll down through the server, you're going to notice there's a lot of different categories and channels. At the lower end of the server, they actually have all their bot listings. Now once you get to the correct category, you'll notice that there's a couple different channels. Starting off, we're going to go over the Stellar Info channel, which just gives us some useful links, renewals, website supported, platforms, and whether it's unbindable. Now, of course, there are some other categories, such as Stellar Rental Buy, where you can post your want to buy for rentals, Stellar Rental Sell, where an owner can actually sell a rental of Stellar AIO, Stellar Buy or Trade, where you want to post your want to buy or want to trades, and then, of course, my favorite spot, which is Stellar Sell. Now, Stellar Sell is going to have all sellers that are currently in possession of Stellar AIO. Now, as you guys can see, there's a ton of different people posting want to sell, and right away we notice that there's numbers on the end of the Discord names. Now, what that's showing us is successful transactions in Tidal Marketplace. So this person's done 22, this person hasn't had a successful sale yet, and over here we see someone with over 1,000 sales. Now, this is obviously a pretty good indication that they're going to be a safer person to buy from, but there are some other things that I want to mention to help you guys avoid getting scammed. So rule number one when it comes to avoiding getting scammed is to make sure that you're not accepting any sort of weird DMs, invites to other servers, or clicking any kind of links in general. Rule number two would be making sure you're watching out for impersonators. Now this could be for middlemen, staff, or just any seller in Tidal Marketplace. If you guys open a ticket, the middleman will not ask you to do the sale in the DMs, and everything will be done through the ticket exclusively. Rule number three would be making sure that you're checking Twitter reference posts. Now, of course, guys, you should not always 100% base your trust off of this just because it could be false information. So although it is nice to go check the Twitter account out, make sure it's active, has a bunch of positive feedback, just do keep in the back of your mind that it could be some false advertising. Now that we've mentioned how to avoid getting scammed, now let's find a seller. As you can see, I did mention that the numbers on the end of the names are total transactions successfully completed in Tidal. Seeing this one being at 1,400, wanting a pretty smooth transaction, this is a pretty good sign already. Now he has his Twitter linked, or at least mentioned, so I'm going to go ahead and check that out. Now I've already gone ahead and looked up the Twitter account, and as you can see, I'm sitting on the legit check. Let's scroll through this and see what kind of comments he has. As you can see, there's definitely more than one account commenting that they've successfully done business, so this is a pretty good sign. But like I said previously, we're not going to be basing 100% of our trust just off of this legit check. So since this is checking out, I'm going to go ahead and send him a DM. Now I'm just going to right click on their name and hit message. So right now I just have a brief message typed up saying, hello, seen you posted on Tidal, is your Stellar key still for sale? Now I did do a screenshot of his post just for future reference if I forget the amount he was asking, maybe important information like his Twitter, renewal. I personally like to do it, but it's not necessarily needed. Now once you DM him, make sure that you are confirming that you're talking about the 30 a month and making sure you're checking when the renewal date is. He said it was about in 2 weeks, which is completely fine. And I wanted to go ahead and feel a little bit safer about this transaction and make sure that I got a DM from his Twitter account just because his Twitter had a lot of refs and I wanted to make sure he wasn't an impersonator. Now when you DM the account, it doesn't have to be anything flashy, just confirming that their Discord name is correct, and as you can see, everything checked out. Now once you come to an agreement with the seller, make sure to open a ticket in Tidal. As you can see, there's a couple different commands here. Right here is the Stellar, which is just dash new Stellar. And like I said previously, we're not going to be doing any transactions in another server or through the DMs just because you can get scammed, and always make sure to check their Twitter. It is something that is very reassuring, but having a middleman really seals the deal and prevents any scamming happening. Now once you join the ticket, you're simply going to want to follow these steps here. As you can see, our middleman is already in the ticket helping us, and it is pretty straightforward. You're just going to want to list the price, payment method, the Discord user that you are buying from or selling to, whether you're the buyer or seller, who will cover the middleman fee, and whether it is unbindable, fresh invite, or on a burner. Once you do that, the middleman will add the seller, buyer, and of course will proceed. Now, as you can see, if you're selling, you will have to DM the middleman your bot key before any payments are received, and they're going to also confirm that the renewal date looks correct. Now, once you're ready to send payment, you always want to confirm that the middleman is saying yes to this, just so there is no misconceptions or money sent when it shouldn't be. Now, the middleman is actually holding the key so that if the seller does try to run off with your money, they cannot get their bot back. Now, once you successfully send your payment, you're going to notice that the middleman actually asks you to DM him. Now, this is actually a very important part of this, guys, just because if you are getting a DM from another person that may look like the middleman, they could be trying to just get your money, key, etc. So remember this, guys, middlemen will never DM you. You're always going to be DMing them. Now, the next step that I really like, just because it's a little bit of a celebration almost, is posting success. Now, you're just going to post thank you or any notes about your transaction with the seller and middleman tagged. This just keeps track of who is successfully selling, buying, and overall, like I said, is just a good vibe. Now that we've gotten the bot, securing proxies is the next step. Heading over to Nocturnal Proxies website, I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, and as you can see, there are 3 types of residential plans, and of course data center and ISPs. If you're looking for something that is going to be generally good on every site, I highly recommend using residential. I personally use the Violet plan the most. And make sure that you guys are using our discount code on checkout. Loading up here really quick, which you can actually apply right here, which is just Nocturnal 15 in all caps. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and the Nocturnal team is always here to help you. Have a great day.